Dear students, welcome to again the Pharma Juris class. So today we will discuss about sale of drugs. So earlier we have discussed in the Drugs and Cosmetic Act the import of drugs, manufacture of drugs, all related rules and regulation. So earlier also I have told you the Drugs and Cosmetic Act controls import, manufacture and mostly sale of drugs. So today we will discuss regarding sale of drugs. So what do you mean by sale of drugs? What do you mean by sale? Sale is nothing but passage of an article, any item from manufacturer to the consumer. This process is known as your sale. So in case of drugs, you will study two types of sales are there. One is your wholesale, other is your retail sale. So for these two sale, that is the category of sale of drugs, a license is required. Without license, nobody can sell a drugs or wholesaling a drugs. So first we'll discuss about the retail sale of drugs. So what is a retail sale of drugs? That means after manufacturing the drugs, company used to appoint a stockist, and the stockist sell the drugs to a retailer, and the retailer again sell to the drugs to the consumer or a patient. So that from the retailer to the consumer or patient is known as your retail sale. For that retail sale, one license is required to deal with many category of drugs. Next, we'll discuss. Earlier also I have told the major category of drugs are divided into three categories. One is your drugs other than those specified in Schedule C and C1 and X, drugs specified in Schedule C and C1 but excluding X, and drugs specified in Schedule X. So for these three category of drugs, three separate licenses are issued by the licensing authority. So in the exemption point of view, please remember that one long type of question also come here. That what are the conditions a licensee must fulfill for retail sale of drugs? Suppose you want to retail sell a drugs in a counter. To open that means to open a chemist and druggist shop. Later on we'll say that what is a chemist and druggist shop, what is a pharmacy, what is a medical store. So, but in our pharmaceutical language, we are telling this is chemist and druggist shop. So for that, what are the conditions you have to fulfill? That you will write in the examination. That will come as a long questions or any short type of questions also come regarding. I will tell later on. So one first you have to apply to for that which category of drugs you want to deal. You want to deal Schedule C and C1, or you want to deal with Schedule X, or you want to deal with Schedule other than Schedule C and C1. So for every category of drugs, another separate form is there. So you have to paying some fees. You can apply for that the license. So what second thing? What are the other conditions you have to fulfill? The other conditions are listed there. Number one, the licensee have adequate space or facilities to be provided for proper storage of the drugs. That is a must. Another condition is that the pharmacy shall comply with the requirement of Schedule N. Schedule N I have told earlier. What are the requirement to run a chemist and druggist shop or a medical store. That is in layman language, but in our language, chemist and druggist shop. So for running a chemist and druggist shop, what are the things needed that is listed in Schedule N? So you have to comply that thing. Then the license, whatever is the license you have got in your name or like this thing, that should be displayed in a prominent place of your shop. All the compounding of drugs and dispensing of the drugs shall be made under the supervision of a qualified person. Another condition. So that means a registered pharmacist. Qualified person means a registered pharmacist. So all the compounding or dispensing of the drugs in the counter shall be made under the direct supervision of a qualified person. The supply of drugs other than Schedule X on a prescription shall be recorded in a register. So all the things, whatever the prescription you are dispensing, you have to maintain in a register. And all the register, all records shall be produced for inspection by the inspector. You have to produce by all the documents to the drugs inspector. Later on we will study about the drugs inspector. So your authority is the drugs inspector for checking the chemist and druggist shop. So whenever you will come, you have to produce all records regarding sale of the different category of drugs, Schedule C and C1 drugs, Schedule X drugs, other than Schedule C and C1 drugs. So all register and records should be preserved for a period of at least 2 years from the date of last entry. From the last entry, you have to keep that is record for 2 years at least. Schedule H and Schedule X drugs cannot be prescribed, that is dispensed without the prescription of a registered medical practitioner. You have to follow that rule also. Schedule H drugs, I have told, all prescription drugs, and Schedule X drugs are narcotics or habit forming drugs. So that for that prescription is a must. Otherwise, you cannot dispense such category of drugs. All register and records and also sample can be given to the inspectors on demand. Suppose a drugs inspector will come and see your or visit your chemist and druggist shop, and he can take some samples also. If he suspected that these drugs are not of the standard quality or something like this thing, it may be adulterated, something like this. He can take, and that sample, by that procedure is there. Later on I will tell, by paying fees, something like this thing. So you have to follow this also. So an inspection book you have to maintain in form number 35 properly and can be shown to this inspector. The drugs after expiry date shall not be in the counter or cannot be sold. You cannot keep any drugs after expiry date in the counter or can be stocked there. Any physician sample drugs or any meant for any government supply, CGS, central government only, that is written. That category of drugs also you cannot sold in the counter or stocked in your shop. And so these are some things you have to maintain for the that is for getting a license for retail sale of the drugs. Next, come to wholesale of drugs. So likewise for retail sale, the same procedure you have to maintain. So what is a wholesale of drugs? Again, from the manufacturer to a stockist. Manufacturer sold the drugs to a stockist. They can appoint some authorized stockist. So that sale is known as your wholesale. That sale is known as your wholesale. So for wholesaling of the drugs also require a license. So in a particular form, there is form 19 for certain drugs, form 19C for certain category of drugs. So it is there. You will go through the notes given by the deputy some teachers. They are in your syllabus that has been sent to you. So you can follow that thing in that regards. So again, question also may come here also in same thing, in same line. Maximum thing what I've told, the same way you have to write. What are the conditions a licensee or chemist for chemist license required for wholesaling of the drugs? If you are doing a wholesale of the drugs, so what are the conditions to be fulfilled? So the conditions are there. The area of the proposed premises shall not be less than 10 square meters. Minimum for wholesaling, the requirement is your 10 square meters area you have to provide for wholesaling of the drugs. And the wholesaling of the drugs should be done by a competent person here. The thing only the change is that in case of retail sale, it is a qualified person. But here you remember it is a competent person. So competent person, so qualified person means he must be a registered pharmacist for retail sale of drugs. He must be a registered pharmacist. Without a registered pharmacist, maybe mainly a diploma pharmacy minimum, the license cannot be issued to other than a diploma in pharmacy. So in case of wholesaling, a competent person who is a minimum 4 years of experience and have passed matriculation. At least the person who has passed matriculation or HSC exam and having 4 years experience in dispensing of drugs are counted as competent person. So for that wholesaling of drugs, a competent person is required, not a registered pharmacist, not mandatory. Registered pharmacist is there, but also you can take any person having 4 years experience and at least matriculation can be given for that wholesaling of the drugs. So, likewise, the retail sale, the premises would have adequate facility for storage of the drugs. It is there. The license should be displayed in a prominent place of your counter. The drugs shall be purchased from a duly licensed dealer or duly licensed manufacturer. Whatever the drugs you are just want to wholesale, that should be you have to purchase from a duly licensed manufacturer. The supply of the drugs by wholesale shall be made against case memo and it should be preserved for a period of 3 years from the date of last entry. In that case, if the record is there 2 years, here it is 3 years. Records of all purchase of drugs should be maintained. All bills, serial number are also maintained. All register and records shall be produced for inspection by inspectors. All register and records shall be preserved for a period of 2 years from the date of last entry. All inspection book should be maintained in form number 35. That is in 34 was there. Here it is 35. Only some changes there. The drugs after expiry shall not be sold or stocked. Physician sample of the drugs or central government supply of the drugs cannot be sold. And Schedule X drug and Schedule that is your so separate record should be maintained for Schedule X drugs for selling to which person you have sold. Any changes in the farm should be reported to the licensing authority. Suppose you are changing the competent person or any changing in your farm, any proprietorship, you have to inform to the licensing authority. So this is about your wholesale of drugs. So retail sale and wholesale, and other is your very minor thing is your restricted license. Restricted license, it will also come as a, what is a restricted license? It will come in the examination is a small question, maybe short question. So restricted license are issued for the retail sale of the drugs. For that, actually, this category of drugs need not need any license or need not need any qualified person for supervision. That can be handled by some persons, it's like some vendors, quack, like this thing. Some bona fide reason, bona fide traveling agents are given that category of drugs for remote areas where there is no shop or medicine shop or chemist and drugist shop are there. There is no distribution channels are there. So on that basis, licensing authority gives some category of drugs that are like analgin, aspirin, or something like drugs which are in the government sector. There time to time some vitamin B complexes, some iron tablets. This category of drugs are given to a vendor. He can buy his bona fide vehicle. He can supply to the different parts of the village like this thing. So that license is known as a restricted license. So that may come in your examination. So that is not for any biological drugs or CDLX drugs. It is not given. Only some limited category of drugs that government has fixed time to time that can be given under restricted license. So this is all about sale of drugs. So some offense and penalties. Lastly, we will deal with some offense and penalty. So that is there. So if any manufacturer or sale, distribution or stocking of any adulterated or spurious drugs or drugs are of not standard quality is deal with this or sell any counter, imprisonment for minimum 5 years and extended up to that is life imprisonment and fine not less than 10,000 on first conviction. So earlier it was somewhat some punishment was very nominal was there, but by amendment they have done very strict, that is imprisonment rule and regulation for subsequent in conviction. That means subsequent means second time or third time if it is committed by the same selling of that category of drugs. So imprisonment up to 10 years, imprisonment 10 years and fine up to 20,000 or both or both. So in case of that category of drugs, manufacture, sale and distribution stocking of adulterated drugs but not containing any toxic or harmful substances which may render injurious to the health. So for that also there is some imprisonment up to 1 to 3 years and fine not less than 5,000 and the first conviction, and imprisonment up to 2 to 4 years and fine not less than 10,000 on the subsequent conviction is there. So this is all somewhat in short type things. It may come or it may be also included. They are in toto in long questions. So this is all about your sale of drugs we have discussed. So thank you all, and again you be prepared for the next class.